on! Alright, so I had to restart the stream because I changed Wi-Fi connections considering people said it was me lagging. So let's get this done quickly. Load settings. And let's fix these settings because they never save correctly, no matter if I save them or not. And yeah, we'll invite recently played with. That'll be good. Approximate. Yep, that's good. That actually stayed the way it should be. Wait, hold on. The setups are not on right. Okay, they're fixed. Good. Making sure. Because you do not want to mess up any settings. Alright. Let's get to recently played with. And invite them. Smart thinking by Sam right there. And let's get everybody in. Oh, come on. Why'd it back out of that? There we go. Come on. There we go. Let's get the drivers back in here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take 20 minutes to restart, but let's find this out. Alright, who is not in here? I believe it's Surfy. Surfy's the one needing to join. I'm getting pings. There we go. Let's get Surfy in here right now. Turn formation lap off, they say. Okay. Why is the stream quality on my computer so bad? Okay, then. Let's fix that. Okay. Alright. We should be good to go. Joe has gone ART now. Well, considering this is a new event, he can change cars. Because it's not like qualifying and everything else. So let me just explain what happened. So there was a lot of lag from that start, and now we had to restart things. And because we had to restart things, we're restarting qualifying as well because of how laggy that lobby was. Let's go one more time then. Well, you know, I don't always say try it a second time for a reason. You know, surely Chungus is lying about rain, but I'm not gonna take it like that just yet. All right, here we go. Readying up now for what is going to be one-shot qualifying once more. A little bit weird to say, isn't it? You know, this F2 season has had its controversies. We've had a bit of trouble with stewarding at times, I would say, throughout certain incidents. And last week was a trouble with the restart, and then this one's another restart. This one, you can't really blame anybody for. So here we go. Let's try this one more time for the final qualifying session of URS in 2022, and for F2, for our championship finale. Let's see who's got the magic through Sector 1 to be able to get pole position. Right now, Surfy was up there, though, at the start of Turn 1. Back down the order as you go through Turn 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and now Lando Norris is out of this session. And Chungus said, though, that rain that he mentioned was gonna be the sprint race. Rowdy TJ Boy, by the end of Sector 1, is leading this thing. Can he take a shock pole? Purple Sector 1 for Rowdy. How about that? Fair play to Rowdy. You know, I have to give credit because this F2 season, he has come close to his first podium. He was just within touching distance. If Pluto got a penalty for the Goggy incident, which was not a penalty, it's fair to say, then if he did, Rowdy would have been on the podium. But right now, Rowdy is hugging this inside white line and trying to take pole position away to maybe change things up in the championship. By the end of the sector, he is not purple, but he is just ahead of Jab, who went purple through Sector 2. And now, through the final moments of this lap, Rowdy TJ Boy has gone down to second place. Jab taking over the top spot is going to be the American battle for 1-2. Chungus sweeping in. How about Rowdy going back to the top? Things are about to get crazy into this final couple of corners for pole position. Jab trying to take 2 extra points once more. Rowdy trying to take 2 extra points to his championship and take a first pole. Rowdy, never been on pole, only front row. Jab slides out of the final corner. It's going to be a run to the finish line. Chungus takes pole out of nowhere. By 12 thousandths, the top 3 are separated by. Rowdy snuck in, Jab got knocked off, and Chungus is going to be on pole. What an unbelievable end to qualifying. 2 points for Chungus and the Dams team. Joseph was right there. Pluto was right there to round out the top 5. Unbelievable. After all that, Chungus took pole position by 5 thousandths of a second. And he found all that in the final sector. Chungus adding 2 points to his name means that he is now 5 points ahead in this championship. As for Dams, it's crucial to note 7 points ahead now. Jab mentioning nice manipulation, but the thing is, if we had started that race with the amount of lag, there was no way we were able to finish. And, you know, the weird scenario from all that qualifying session that we originally started with before we restarted is we've never had that situation to where it's a sprint and a feature, and we had to, you know, we could have customized, we could have said, hey, let's customize the grid for the sprint back out and do the feature, but that would be a whole hassle. And, you know, it was safe from being a hassle in that way. It was safe from being a 20-minute restart both times. So, Jab mentioned that is 2 whole points gone from him. And that is one moment he'll be looking back on for this championship. The 2 whole points that he lost right there. And you saw it. Here we go. No formation lap. So here we come. 5 red lights now for the sprint race, the final sprint race of URS F2. Here we go. Lights out and away we go. Will led the way in the Campos. And Kam got off to a decent start, but he's having to cover off fully before turn 1. They're going to be 3 wide right there as Pluto tries to take advantage of the Carlin of Surfy. And now Rowdy to the outside of Pluto, trying to take advantage of him as we go up the hill. Turn 2, turn 3, and now turn 4 in the run of the hairpin for the first time in this race. Foley pulling alongside Kam. Yellow flags at the back of the field. That's QBR 20 Joe. Jab and Joseph go side by side. We got multiple side-by-sides on the hairpin. Down the inside goes Sam C and on Pluto. Oh, and I think they made contact as Rowdy gets ahead, Surfy gets out of Foley, Will leads the way by 7/10, and Campos already needing everything they can do to take the Constructors' lead back from Dams. And side by side for second place in this race, how about Common Surfy? Foley trying to take advantage, Rowdy right behind, and Pluto runs right in the back of Surfy right there. There was contact. Or sorry, that was Foley. There was contact between the both as Surfy goes off and touches the barrier. Off gone Foley and Com. Com and Pluto are now side by side, the two teammates. Does Com let him go for the sake of the Drivers' Championship? Around the outside, Pluto's gonna go. They're gonna battle it out till the very last moment here as they go side by side right behind Pluto around the outside here. Track extending just a little bit. Yellow flags out to the back of the field. That's Joseph and Rossi. Trouble to Joseph's race already. Rowdy down the order as well. He's gotten into trouble and Rowdy's around after a good start. He's missing a bit of his front wing. That is absolutely crazy for his race. He's gonna have to hope for some luck in the future, and there's a crash! Joseph is around! Aaron is around! MP is gonna have a bit of a disaster with Aaron going around, and Joseph for Carlin going around. That is, oh no, to his championship sakes. And for Carlin too, because now you only have Surfy to rely on for the sprint race. And now Pluto on the back of Com. Pluto trying to eat up Com here. Fourth position. Gonna go down the inside right here already. Crash at the back. That is Joe. And now Rowdy will go ahead of him, but side by side between the two teammates. How about Pluto getting ahead of Com? That right there is crucial to Pluto's race and to catching the leaders and to staying in this championship fight. The sprint race might not offer a whole lot of points, but these points are crucial for any team heading into the future. Whether it's the driver or the team itself, everything is on the line right here. And speaking of that, here's Surfy for this lead already, and Will Cromack. Will Cromack, the lone Campos for today, trying to defend Surfy's Carlin. Gonna go side by side into the start of Sector 3. How about Surfy as he enters Sector 3 going ahead? Surfy, who did pretty well last week in both the sprint race and the feature race, getting his elbows out and going ahead for the race lead. And that is by 3/10. Foley almost out of DRS. Pluto's gonna have to attack him sooner or later. Yellow flags. That is for Sam Steed. Here we go. On board with Florian Foley. Slightly out of DRS right here. Now back in it. Now almost back out of it. It's just so close for these positions right now. And behind all that, Chungus and Jab, the two Red Bull livery cars who are close in this championship fighting it out. And right now that fastest lap point would go to Chungus, and going off in the final corner was Rossi. But how about trouble for Will, getting overtaken by just about everybody who was right behind him in that train. He had some sort of trouble through turn 1, and now that's escalated. Chungus on the back of Jab. This is forward position. Who's going to go for the move? Jab's going to go around the outside of Pluto. They touched. Pluto is spun around and he saves it. Unbelievable save. Sam and Joe already out of this race as they had trouble. But now the battle is for fourth place in this race. Pluto is now ahead after that contact, but now it's up to Chungus and Jab battling it out. And here's Cobb getting a little bit of a tap from, I believe, those other Will, and maybe if it wasn't that, it was Com tapping Chungus for sure, as Jab gets a 3-second. Jab having to give the places back for that, and now he has to give the place back to Chungus, which could be crucial. Chungus down the inside of Will. Will crosses him over, goes back down the inside, gets through, but Will goes wide. Here's Chungus around the outside now. Oh, dancing onto the curb right there. You can just see how much these drivers are battling, how much this championship is going to mean to them, how much these points are to them. The big thing for Pluto right now is he's on that podium, and that is 6 points to his name right now, as Chungus will only have 3. And down the inside, he's going to go and Will. They touch. Jabber on the outside now. I think he may have overtook off track. He may have to give the place back, and I think he just has. Unbelievable racing, and now Will and Jab collide. And Joseph now takes the fastest lap. He may have a chance for points after all that. Jab is now down and out of the points. What a crazy start to this championship on only lap 4. I mean, you think about this. They're just giving it to Chungus the more they battle. And here comes Pluto and Foley. Pluto trying to take 2 extra points around the inside of Foley. Foley right now on the podium. And that would be crucial for MP to finish off the season. How about Calm and Chungus? Calm and Chungus making more contact as they did the last time around that corner. Calmer on the outside of Chungus this time. Chungus not given much room as he saw what happened the last time. And in front of that, Pluto and Foley going to go side by side into the start of Sector 3. As Chungus and Calm going side by side right here. Pinching and nearly touching. Now they're touching. And Calm going a bit wide. That curb is going to eat up his tires. And it's going to make him go wide, and that's going to give the place to Chungus. The other not so crucial thing for Jab is that penalty. That 3-second penalty. Who knows if it'll be appealed. But he had to go off track to avoid a collision, I think, and that may be the big thing we'll talk about as to after this race. Post-race pens could be a big thing too, depending on what's all happened so far. Only 14 drivers, 12 left in this race. Rowdy and Aaron at the back of the field. Joseph and Jab, championship contenders outside of the points. Chungus, 5 points right now to his name, as Pluto has 8. If things stay the way they are, yeah, Chungus would be the champion right now. However, still a feature race to go. And that also gives a lot of time for Jab to recover with more points on offer. You know, it would be great for him to score points. I would want him to score points. That'd be very nice for Jab. And it would keep him inside this championship fight and keep it close into the feature race that is up next. And we're not even halfway yet, and we're speaking about all this. This is how crazy this start was. There was the contact with Calm and Chungus. Jab had to go off track. There was contact between Jab and Will. Joseph gone down the order after his contact with Aaron. And in all that, you hear Chungus' name once, but the thing is, after that pole position, out in front. He's out in front. It's as simple as that on that one. And another thing people will have to watch out for too, and I think a lot of people who are in this championship fight will watch out for, is, you know, it was mentioned in Italy, Chungus extending the track, it would be penalized more often. So if he extended so much in his lap, that pole could go right back to Jab, or at least the points could be taken away from Chungus. If he extended, I'm not saying he did or he didn't, because I did not watch him on his lap, but that is something his championship contenders, if they do not win the championship or they lose it by 2 points, will watch out for. They will go back to his stream and watch, hey, did he extend or not? And that'll be a big question. Jab now takes the fastest lap, and he's currently 9th place, and he is trying to get everything he can out of this car to try to get up to what would be 8th place right here. Rossi extended there out of turn 1, and now he's right in the back of Lando in the Nissan car in the dams. Is it going to go down the inside? He's going to think about it. He is now down the inside. He goes a bit of a long dive there. Lando switching back. Can't get to the inside of him fully just yet. But now we got a crash. That's Aaron Ocon at the very back of the field. But here we go. It is Rossi with the DRS. Lando pulling alongside from that slipstream as they head to the chicane. Who's going to be out in front? Who's going to be last on the brakes? I think it might have been Rossi right there. He's going to stay ahead. And I'm sorry, that's Will now. That's not Lando. That's Will. But the big thing for Rossi now is going to have to be hold them off. Hold them off, because as a Dams driver, 2 points to his name. Chungus, 5 points to his name right now. So everything counts for this championship. That's for constructors. We'll have to watch out for what goes on. A lot of things at stake here. Lap 6 out of 11, Surfy in the lead for Carlin. And considering Joseph has no points, this is the best scenario for Carlin in order to keep themselves in this championship fight. And this could bring them even closer by the time of the feature race. This train of cars has now entered lap 7 now, and has now got Jabuli MSU in the mix. And you can see that from turn 1 now on Rossi extending out of turn 1, getting a better entrance from it for turn 2, and now that was trouble for Calm, who is off the racing line and now back on the racing line right in front of them. And here's Lando and Rossi gonna go side by side. They thought about 3 wide for a moment. How about Lando right here, having to protect everything he can? But now it is Rossi who's gonna challenge him this time, not last time, this time, down this straight. And behind that, Jab also on Will. Down the inside, both of them going side by side again, trying not to collide. Who's going to be last in the breaks between Ross and Lando? Ross slightly getting ahead, Jab pinching Will. Lando on the inside, almost touching. Rossi goes off the track. That could have been overtake off track. However, Chungus and Foley side by side in front. This is for points for Chungus. This is crucial. Third place in this race. This is for a podium. Foley nearly pinching. Chungus has to go off the road. Rossi and Lando now side by side. You can take so many lines to this corner, and Rossi takes the line to get ahead of Lando. And Jab also had a Will. That will be a big question as to whether or not that 3-second penalty will be appealed. Rossi going wide. Lando trying to take advantage. Lando right in the back of him now. And Chungus on the back of Foley for a podium spot. Foley trying to take MP's first podium from a full-time driver this season. And Jab on the back of Calm now. Jab gonna go down the inside. There's contact between the two. Calm has to go out a bit wide on the curve, and Jab having to take the right side here as he's getting pinched. And Jab thinks about going to the inside line now. Can he? No, not yet. Rossi, though, extending the track once more. Chungus on Foley before the hairpin. Right, here we go. And around the outside. Can he do it? The Dragovich MP is going to stay ahead for now. However, Chungus found a line on the outside line to go ahead with contact. Unbelievable. How did he find that line on the outside? That was the slimmest of inches. He didn't even think about going to the inside line right there. He knew. He trusted himself to go to the outside, and that could be crucial for this championship. Chungus trusting himself right there with what line to go for. Now Lando, he's going to have to find what line to go for. Aaron Ocon crashing in the background. That is 12th place. Rowdy TJ Boy, 11th place, has now left the session, but this battle is going to continue between Lando Norris and Rossi. It is heating up. Lando gonna go around the outside now. Lando around the outside. Lando gonna switch back now to the inside line for the beginning parts of Sector 3, sliding a bit with the tires. Rossi staying ahead. And Jab now got that position on Common. As he sees these two battling, he's gonna try everything he can to get the position on these two. And now that has closed Joseph up for 9th place. The thing I won't do, and I would have done it maybe, but now that things have closed in between the guys behind, I would have added the championship scenario without Jab's 3-second, but I am not going to do that just yet because we'll have to see what goes on. And speaking of we'll have to see what goes on, fully extending the track right there out of turn 1. Also, for this lead, 1.9. Surfy looking to become the 6th different winner in 7 races of F2. How about that for a stat? And now, Joseph on Calm. Joseph trying to go to the right side. Calm extending the track and going a bit wide. How about Joseph around the outside before the hairpin comes? He is going to go ahead. Rowdy also behind there. He was 11th place. He's going to take control of his car now. It could be a slim chance for him for points, but he could take it if anybody has trouble in these last couple laps. We see the slipstream games being played behind. We see the slipstream games being played in front. Look at Lando darting to the right side. How about Rossi still trying to dive to the inside line here? Lando trying to defend right there and goes wide in the process. Rossi goes ahead. How about Jab now? Does he go ahead? A bit of trouble there on the right side. I don't know if that was defending, but that was Joseph right there. But now looking for 3 wide. Lando, Jab, Lando right in the middle. Jab around the far outside, trying to get the place. Even with the 3-second, he could pull that gap possibly with his pace. But now he's side by side with Rossi, and now heading under the bridge. And Rossi thinking about the inside line now. Jab gonna protect this. Now under the hotel section, Jab getting ahead and staying ahead. Now the big question is, can he pull that 3-second gap that he had? Currently, that 3-second gap would be pulled on Calm and Will, but if he can get in a big enough gap and use the pace he has, he could maybe pull them out of DRS before the hairpin because of where that detection point is. We'll have to see if Rossi extends turn 1 again. He was extending turn 1, but now does not extend turn 1. As Jab but now Rossi will have DRS this time as Lando follows suit. Joseph out of DRS. Will got by Calm there, so that's the position between the Virtuosi and Campos. Campos downgrading on how much they have a chance on this championship for the constructors. Now you see Calm gaining on Will, and Joseph has got these guys out of DRS very easily. However, Jab is no stranger to getting out of DRS, but he is right in it still with these guys. Rossi's still in it. Lando's still in it. A lot still to play for. Rossi using this far inside line, not using the slipstream. Now he darts to it as we're about to enter. This time, lap 11 out of 11. Things are at stake here, very massively. And Rossi trying to use a bit of the track to gain on Jab. He slides! He's off the road! Lando gonna take advantage now to the outside line. And Rossi gonna have the inside line for this corner unless Lando could take it from him. Lando does down the inside. Big move from Lando. Lando and the high tech gonna go ahead. Big points on offer for high tech. You know, I will say they're not going to keep themselves in contention, but that move is as to why they kept themselves in this race for the Constructors' Championship on the last one. And now, Surfy enters lap 11 out of 11. 1.4 is the gap between the lead. Now it's closing down. 1.2. He is struggling now as Pluto's almost about to enter DRS here. He's not in it yet, but depending on what happens here, all the way to the chicane, he could be in it. Now, behind that, Jab could be pulling 3 seconds over 8th here. It could be a stretch, but he could do it. And the big question definitely will be, can he appeal it, though, too? As everybody's tires, as they're on the softs, is wearing off. Will on Calm. Calm lets Will go there. Not sure why that was. Maybe he made a mistake, maybe he didn't, don't know. But the big thing right now is going to be for 6th place, and this will help Jab, even without appealing that 3 second if they continue to battle, extend that gap. I think Lando let him go there. Rossi going ahead, now having to defend right here. 1.3 is the gap between Jab and Ross. And with Chungus on the podium, that minimizes that gap between Chungus and Pluto. And now the slipstream is engaged. Whoa, a bit of contact between them. Lando going ahead. Joseph trying to go ahead. Rossi on the inside line. Rossi trying to keep it close right here. Now side by side, Joseph trying to take advantage. Ross getting ahead slightly, but they might make contact. They almost do. They do that time. Lando touches and is ahead. Now they continue to battle, but we have to switch back to the race leader. Surfy, crucially for Carlin, is going to become the 6th different winner in 7 races for our F2 season. Surfy sees the checkered flag for the first time. Pluto on the podium, Chungus on the podium, and as they dance to the finish line, Lando down the inside ahead of Rossi. Oh, they touch, and now Lando will get 5th place. And Jab, if he appeals that 3 second, he would be 5th place. Depending on the crucialness of is it a removable penalty or not. I think Rowdy, does he need to join back the session? He may. But a lot of points on offer right there, as you saw. Surfy doing the maximum for Carlin, winning for the first time. Never had a podium in the league before, but he goes into Season 4. The realistic side, still needing a podium. And I could not invite Rowdy there. Well, what a battle. What a battle it was for the sprint race. And this time it was not one from 9th on the grid for the first time this season. Again, as mentioned, big points on offer. Rowdy will need another invite, but let's get him one by the start of the next event. Here we go. Surfy for the first time wins unofficial series, just like Chungus. So we'll have to see if they could repeat the same thing in Season 4. However, Jab, last point spot, still, by the way, still took some points there. Calculating the totals for this championship right now. And I must say, very interesting here with how things stand. Let's add it up. Now, if Jab does appeal that 3 second, this thing could change for sure with the way Chungus and Jeb's championship is at stake for the drivers. Now, the feature race in the day event, I must say. Interesting. As we head to the feature race, pending appeals, because this could be the big championship changer right now. Appeals. Chungus has the championship lead over Pluto by 8 points. Wait, no, is it 8 points? It is 8 points, I think. Just make sure. No, it's 7. Excuse me. I miscalculated that for a second. So, Pluto, 7 points behind Chungus. Maddie and Jab, 9. Joseph still has the slimmest of slim chances. And he is 19 points behind us for the constructors. Dam's ahead of Carlin by 4. And Virtuosi, 11 points behind. Here we go for the feature race for the final time of URS. In 2022, we're lights out and away we go. Chungus trying to defend on Jab, and Pluto on the only one on different tires. Chungus ahead of Joseph now, and spinning off at the back is Will Cromack. That could be the end of Campos' race. And now, Joseph trying to gain on Jab. Jab and Pluto gonna go side by side right now. And on the run down to the turn 5 of their pin. Joseph trying to get on Chungus. And down the inside, Jab's gonna go on Pluto. And Surfy trying to gain spots as well. They're all gonna be side by side and running for room on the run down to the chicane for the first time in this race. Chungus trying to break the slipstream already from Joseph. And Rowdy, I know he's lagged out, but he's got the lead already from this AI car. And now Pluto on the outside of Jab. Can he do it? Can he go around the outside and make the move complete? Side by side, they're bouncing over the curb. They're touching. They made contact. Not for the first time, but Jab still staying ahead. Calm and Foley now battle, and now Pluto with the momentum. Gonna go to the outside line, and Joseph to the outside of Chungus. Immense battling. Jab and Pluto side by side once more, and in front of that, Joseph and Chungus side by side. Chungus staying ahead, barely. Joseph, is he gonna switch him back? No. However, Jab can't switch back. Pluto right there. Surfy hangs in the background. Yellow flags. That's Sam Steed around. And I believe that was also QBR20 Joe in the ART. And now, as you can see, Rowdy's car possibly rejoining this session. Let's make sure he's got an invite for sure. But at the end of lap 1 out of 16, we will see pit stops. That'll be the crucial thing in this race with how that all goes. Leading lap 1, Chungus. Fastest lap on lap 1, Chungus. You know, he's got the fastest lap point in 5 of the 7 events. That could be crucial as to whether or not he wins this championship. Jab's 3 second being appealed too could be a crucial thing as well. Joe, 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane. And his race, I think, is done. As for this lead, 6/10 now. Pluto, the only one on a different tire. That could be crucial as well. You know, he's getting the faster tire out of the way, I believe, right now. And I don't know if I'd want to be doing that or not, but everybody on the reverse strat and the soft to super softs. Whereas Pluto's on the super softs to the softs. So could this be the championship winning drive that Pluto needed? As for the point gap, adding into this feature race, 7 points. So he needed to try something different. As for Virtuosi, 11. And with the amount of points on offer, there will be surely someone out of it. And I can confirm High Tech is out of it. High Tech now, with the way things have gone, are out of this championship. And speaking of the championship, a position changes between Jab and Pluto. Jab going ahead right there. Missed that for a moment, but we were on board with them. Chungus, fastest lap right there. No one's taking that as of now. And that is exactly what he needs. He needs to keep scoring these fastest laps. The extra points, all of it is crucial. And a little bit of a slide there. Maybe turn 2, turn 3 was Jab or Joseph, one of the two. But Joseph, now on this lap, will have DRS on Chungus. So that is the first crucial thing for him in this race. The thing between Joseph and Chungus, with the way that whole sprint race ended up, is Joseph is still in contention, but Joseph is going to need Chungus to have trouble, and Joseph will need to win this event in order to win the championship. At least at a minimum, but that's going to depend on what others do for points. Chungus ran wide right there. Is this Joseph's opportunity? Now the gap is 0.6. 0.4 the gap is. DRS enabled. And Chungus hugging the inside line where Joseph tries to get the switching from him as they head down to the start of Sector 3. Jab also closing that gap. Purple sector for him. Pluto still barely staying within DRS, and Surfy behind, not within DRS. The championship contenders all running 1, 2, 3, 4. If things were to stand the way they do, it would be Chungus, your F2 champion. As for the constructors, might be a bit of a closer battle. Yellow flags, Virtuosi, that is calm around. And Aaron Ocon has collided with Will Cromack at the start of the twirly section here in the final sector. But now, the fastest lap is going to go to Jab, so that's an extra point for him. As for the constructors, 18 and 10 for Carlin. It would not be enough to seal the constructors for them, but if they continue to gain places, that is exactly why they are a factor in this whole championship fight, whether it's with the Drivers' Championship or whether it's with the Constructors. Rossi runs 7th in the Dams, whereas Surfy runs 5th in that Carlin. DRS for the top 3. Pluto's now out of it. That could be big. We know it can. Here's Joseph on the inside of Chungus at the chicane. Who's going to break last? Who's going to break later? And now Chungus having to defend the right side. Joseph around the outside. A little bit of pinching between them. That's going to invite Jab into the space. Can he take 3 wide into this? Jab could possibly do it. Oh, a bit of touching, I think, between Chungus and Joseph. Jab around the outside to make it 3 wide. As they head into the corner. All 3 Red Bull livery cars go side by side by side. And now Joseph on the inside line will not get ahead. Chungus around the outside could prevail right there, and he does. Unbelievable. And Sam mentioning having to go for dinner, so that's why he retired from this race in the pit lane. Jab had to go ride right there. That invites Pluto to this mess. And now, yellow flag sets Aaron out of the race. Could this bring out a safety car? No, not yet. Calm now out. And it has! Safety car! Oh, how things have just changed. Oh my goodness. What a turn of events. What has happened with Calm? That does not necessarily put Virtuosi out of this championship. But what that does is that now says bye-bye to MP. Their chances are now over. So it is now a 5-way fight for this constructor. If we didn't know already before, Beatnik not showing up, he is out of this race as well. With the fight for the Drivers' Championship. But the thing that is mentioned every single time is 2 points. And it is mentioned as a rule in this league, and it has to be remembered because, you know, you can technically say Matty is out of this championship fight as well since he won't score. It's now 4 for the drivers, but the thing is, for these drivers, in order to win the championship, in order to score points in this, you have to finish the race. You can't DNF, be 10th, and not be in it. And you know who this puts back in this fight with the safety car now? I know things are going to change because of the strategy. This kind of puts Pluto right in the position to go on the soft tires. But what this does now is Rowdy running at the back of the grid in that VAR. His chance now to go to the front. Lando's back in this. Ross is back in this. And Will at the back of the field had trouble there. Got no collision. He's back in this, and the Campos as well. Campos is not out of this. But it is going to depend on what every single team with 2 cars does. If you're going to bet on someone like Will, if you're going to bet on someone like even Jab with Praman, with Campos. Here we go. Does anybody pit right now? Pluto might, and I think he does. He's in. So this will be crucial. However, those soft tires should be able to go the rest of the way. However, you know everybody else is going to have to wait. Unless they're thinking they can make it on super softs. Here's Ross and here's Rowdy. And Will should be staying out. He does. Damage may also play a big factor as to why some people might be pitting. I want to check Ross and I want to check Rowdy. Ross not repairing front wing. Rowdy might. Nope, he's not. So they're just going to the super soft tires then. Pluto going to the softs though. So if this safety car comes in at the right time though, and it comes in, let me say, lap 8, or at the end of lap 7, these super soft tires, either they'll make it and they'll be very worn, or they won't make it. But if they do make it, track position and getting through this field is going to be a key for Pluto, Ross, and Rowdy. All a big factor in this championship. And Ross is for the constructors, Pluto is for the drivers and the constructors. Rowdy's just in it to race and try to get a podium for the first time. So that is the crucial thing in this race for these guys. Chat, tell us what you think. This is going to get interesting. Yeah, why not? Let's get Aaron in here. I know Aaron wanted to get in here since he DNF'd. But let's get him in here. The safety car should not be coming in at the end of this lap, and if Aaron is not in the party by the time it okay, well, we do have Chungus thinking. Joseph thought as well, and how about Foley, I think, thinking, yes, he is pitting. 1 MP into the pit lane. Yeah, let's get his teammate in here. Why not? Let's have Aaron talk with us. Whose party is he in? He is in Joseph and them. Yeah, why not? I mean, you know what? We do need somebody else in here for a bit of action to cover what's been going on. Lando also pits. Lando, you choosing to go a lap later, you know, the thing with the rule in the feature race, if you pit, it would have to be after lap 3. Don't think you have to pit under green flag conditions. It could be under a safety car. Aaron knows a bit of F2 a bit better than I do, so let's ask him. And that does promote Pluto to 6th place with the soft tires. The only one on the soft tires and the rest on the super softs. Aaron, make sure you include your audio. Welcome along.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. So I just want to clarify the rule for F2 because I want to be 100%. So these guys pitting under the safety car, oh, well, your teammate Foley just ran in the braking boards. But I was going to say, with the rule for F2, I just want to clarify because I'm pretty sure it does not matter if you pit under the safety car or virtual safety car for your mandatory pit stop. Is that correct?
I think it's okay for full safety cars, but for virtual safety cars, I'm pretty sure it doesn't count. Okay. It doesn't count for mandatory pit stop.
Mandatory pit stop. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so you know, in this fight is Foley, in this fight is Lando, in this fight is Rowdy and Ross on the super soft tires. You know, 2 drivers have one lap fresher, could make the difference between a puncture or not a puncture, and Pluto on the soft tires, who is currently 6th right now and in a good position, depending on what goes on right here. They've already got their mandatory pit stop out of the way, Aaron. The front 5 don't.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Pluto looks pretty good to win, to be up there in this race if there's no safety car the rest of the race.
Yeah, and that could matter in what the rest of the field does, because now with Ross, Rowdy, Foley, and Lando pitting, this could get interesting. Safety car is going to be in at the end of this lap, and we're about to be halfway in this race. When does Chungus choose to go on this safety car? Well, this F2 title, surely we know it's going to get to the end of the season, and it has, and now at the end of this lap, Chungus gets going. Here we go, back on the gas, and away we go. Pluto 6th, and he's going to have to gain everything he can. Foley now back into the pit lane. Did he take a bit of damage? That could be why he's pitting. And now Will, a little easy on him there, lets him go. And that position is guaranteed right there for Pluto. 5th place, Foley retiring for MP Motorsport. That is going to be it to Foley's race. But as for the rest of the field, 9 drivers left in this one. Here's Ross down the inside of Will now in the dams. For what could be a constructor's title for them today. Chungus leading this race for Dams. Ross taking a place for Dams. There you go. Rowdy now also on Will in the fresher tires. You could see the difference between the fresher tires and the guys who stayed out on the old soft tires. Side by side between Rowdy and Will as we head to the chicane. Oh, diving down the inside. I think Will broke earlier, but Rowdy made contact with him on the entrance of the corner. Still making contact. Rowdy has to go out a bit wide, and he will go ahead. Might have been an overtake off track, I'm not sure, but now we got Lando and Wills going side by side here, and up at the front of the field, Chungus and Joseph. It was close between the two for a moment. I think Chungus is now going a bit wide, invited Joseph to be 3/10 back, it's close, and now Lando got the spot on Will. Aaron, if there's another safety car, how crucial is that going to be toward Chungus, Joseph, Jab, and Surfy's races right now?
It's going to be really crucial for them. If another safety car does come out. But if they want a safety car, it will have to be probably after lap 10. But I don't think the stop will last that long.
Here's Surfy. Surfy's going to pit right now. A little early from Surfy. Is he realizing that maybe being on the slower tires, it was a mistake? I mean, we're going to have to see. Can these guys fight back to the field? And, you know, the big thing for Surfy, even if he doesn't take the... Oh, well, Will with a penalty. I'm sorry. I was going to say... If Surfy does not take the win, the big question now is going to be Chungus, Joseph, Jab. How long do they stay out? And how can that help Surfy? Because Carlin are still in this for the Constructors' title.
Yeah, I think Surfy made the wrong decision by pitting that early. Because when I did the sprint race, my tires were still like on about 45% after 9 laps. So they could have gone on to maybe to lap 11 or 12.
Maybe a little more, yeah. But you also want to get out of the way and maybe get the undercut. But, you know, you also have to consider as well, if you're going to try that, you have to maybe make yourself aware how long can those tires go. Because that's the thing that Ross, Rowdy, Lando, they're going to have to make sure they're aware. However, Pluto not so much because he is on fresher tires on the softs as he leads the Ross and Rowdy for the net lead. But the thing for Pluto in this sense as well is... he's not too worried. He's on tires that will make it to the end for sure. The guys behind him, however, they don't know for 100%.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't.
Oh, sorry to cut in. Lando got down the inside of Rowdy right there. I could see Rowdy sliding on the curbs, and now Lando on 1 lap fresher tires than Rowdy on the same tire, trying to get by. Rowdy, you could see, is slightly slower than Lando, and Lando trying to maximize everything he can to the track right here. And Rowdy, I think, knew he's faster, gonna let him go.
Yeah, Will's in the piss now. I think he might be retiring because he went very slow going into the stop sign.
Maybe, or just maybe trying to take it very easy, not to run into anything or crash the car, because he wants to maybe help Campos out in the Constructors. Now, DRS enabled on this lap, all the way down this back straight as we're going to head to 6 laps remaining next time by. DRS enabled. Here we go, slipstream. All will matter on this straight. And the thing before we saw last lap was Pluto was not in DRS, he's back in it now, so something may have closed up the front 3 in order to close up Pluto.
Yeah, and
DRS.
At this point as well, top 3 tires might be wearing a bit more than what Pluto is.
And that was the crucial thing for Pluto right here, but the big thing from Chungus right now is going to be how much positions can he gain once they pit. And even if there's a safety car, where's he going to be? I know Chungus is going to be fuming with that safety car. And it's a bit ironic how, you know, the calm crash from the Virtuosi allows Pluto to take advantage most out of anybody from it. And Khan mentioned he lost it himself. I mean, he did not make it seem like it was intentional. I'm not trying to suggest that. I don't want to suggest that. I don't think it was. But it's crazy how things work out at the end here.
Yeah,
when all is said and done. And pitting is Jab. Good?
I don't think it was actually Khan who called the safety car. I think it actually might have crashed the car.
Well, you would crash, and then it was Calm right after. Yours didn't come out until I think Calm crashed. So I don't know.
I crashed before Calm.
Could be other side. No, I know. I was saying the safety car didn't come out until Calm had crashed. So that could be why the safety car was out. However, Pluto, 3rd place right here. Ross right behind him, and that time that Lando and Rowdy lost, taking him out of DRS. However, the front 2 could really make a factor into catching Lando and Rowdy up for DRS. However, they have to have the pace to keep it, and they have to have the pace in order to catch up. Jab, coming out of the pit lane, gonna be behind Surfy. So that undercut for Surfy is kind of crucial, but how crucial? DRS now. On this back straight, no position changes.
Yeah, and another thing to say as well, that Chungus looks to be lagging as well in the session. I don't know if it's just my screen or just me, but it's lagging as well.
Could be a big thing for drivers. I could see a little bit of twitching, but however, Joseph's going to go to the outside line this time Pluto waiting in the wings. Joseph couldn't go to the inside line there, but however, this invites Pluto in right there. Not going to make anything of it. He knows he's on the soft tires, and he knows he can make it to the end of this race where the front two still have yet to pit. However, the only concerning thing for Pluto is Ross right behind. He's looking for a first win as well as a reserve.
Yeah, I think right about now is where Chungus or Milo would want a safety car to come out for Bennett to be within an inch on the brakes.
Position swap, Jab and Surfy right there.
Chungus slips.
There you go. Joseph's going to stay out an extra lap. So every single guy who is pitted is just pitting on different laps, as you can see here from that top 3, top 4 area to start off this. Yeah. Surfy and Jab pitting, and now Chungus gonna come out of the pit lane now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Milo at this moment is probably banking on the safety car to come out.
Or trying to defend right now. How much is he going to hold him up for Rossi, or is he going to maybe think about his teammate or the championship itself? 20 points can make a difference. However, Pluto ahead. And that is before DRS, so Pluto will have the DRS here. However, Milo's in the slipstream. That slipstream is still quite powerful when you're in it. However, he's going to duck to the left side. He may get DRS for this next zone. However, how crucial is that going to play to his race? You know, Joseph is going to need Chungus to not either score any points or very little points in order for him to win the championship today. But now the focus for him could possibly be the Constructors' Championship. DRS for him, DRS for Rossi. Rossi pulling to the right side now, trying to go around the outside line. The tires are fading for him. He could be making the difference between Ross and Pluto for the win. However, Joseph trying to stay ahead for his sake also to maybe get ahead of Jeb and Chungus. Now, Joseph staying ahead of Ross right here as we head to the double right. The triple right, I should say, right there. On the end of it, Joseph stays ahead. It's just so close. It's so close between these guys. Through that section, I worry that someone's going to crash. However, I think Joseph may come in this time.
Yeah. No, he stays out.
Oh, he stays out. So he's definitely making on a safety car.
Yeah, but
you can see it now.
It might be too late, though, for a safety car. Or not.
Not necessarily, but next lap it would be. On lap 14, it would be too late for it.
Yeah,
he's hoping on something on this lap. Oh, he loses it! Oh my goodness! And luckily saves it. He keeps going, but now Ross could have been put out of the DRS right there. He's gonna be in it, just barely though. So now that's the fight between him and Pluto, and Lando could maybe just have slid into DRS right there and couldn't.
Yeah, and the longer
the
longer Milo stays out, the less chance he has of coming out ahead Chungus or Jab.
However, safety car could play a big factor if there is one, but there does not look like there will be one.
Yeah.
Surfy 8th place, Chungus 7th, and Jab 6th. If things stay the way they are right now, talk about a champion. How about Pluto? Out of all that, one race victory. He proved in URS Season 1 that you only need to win one race to win the championship, and right now he's doing just that. And, you know, I take into factor that 3-second penalty being appealed by Jab from the sprint race. Take everything into a factor, right? Pluto, by the end of this, what, 91 points, I'm thinking? Jab, right now in that position he's in, 8 points. Even if he appeals it, it does not change anything points-wise for him winning things. Chungus, I think, just got ahead of him right there. And Chungus, 8 points for him would leave him on 81. Pluto would be left on 91.
Yeah, Milo pits.
With that fastest lap. Yep, there you go. With that fastest lap as well for Jab, 1 point extra. That would leave him possibly third in the championship when things are said and done. And he speeds! Oh no! Well, Carlin's still trying to look for the constructors. Well, Dam's trying to look for the constructors from them. That could maybe seal the deal with that speeding penalty. I can tell you right now. However, this race victory is still not over. Ross and Pluto, DRS enabled. And Lando on the podium right now. Chungus, fastest lap right there, trying to take the extra point away from Pluto. If Pluto does not win this race and ends up second place, that would be 94 points for him, I think. Let me just tally all that. No, it'd be 84. 84 points for Pluto, that would be. And what that would mean is 84 to if Chungus is 5th. That is 84 for Chungus with that fastest lap. That is the big difference between the championship right now with that fastest lap point for him. And if this lead changes, that is exactly why Ross is fighting for this. It is going to be majorly down to Pluto and Chungus. And take into consideration that 3-second penalty being appealed for Jab. That is a couple extra points. And if that couple extra points gets added up, that's 64, 68-ish, maybe we'll say, 68, 69-ish. And Jeb running 6th place right now, that is 8 points. That is not enough. He's going to need even more places for Jab in order to secure, or for Chungus to be in trouble. Right now, this championship focus is, for the drivers, is going to be on Pluto and Chungus. It is going to be a fight to the finish line. Lap 15 out of 16. And take into consideration this constructors fight as well. If Dams stay put with where they're at, 18, 10, yeah, I mean, sorry, 18 and 11, yeah, that would be the constructors championship for Dams. And Carlin, not in a good points position for them to keep themselves in contention. Now the gap between Ross and Pluto, 4/10. I'm not sure if they're telling Pluto right now if he loses the lead, that is championship over for Pluto, because off tiebreakers it go to wins, and Chungus has the more wins than Pluto. He's the only one with a double win in F2, and now trying to dart the slipstream out is Pluto, trying to make sure Rossi does not get it. If Pluto hangs on and wins this race, that's the championship for him. But if he doesn't, it's championship for Chungus. Off of a tiebreaker. Could you believe that? Off a tiebreaker?
I didn't know it would come that close for the championship.
I mean, with that many drivers being in contention, it was always thought of it if it could, but, you know, I look back to Season 2, it never did. I look back to even constructors fights in URS, it just never came so close. I even look back to other leagues I've owned of ARL. Championships have come close, but I've never had a tie in one. And Rossi losing the rear end right there, you can just see how much the tires are fading away. However, he's going to try to keep himself in DRS for one last time here in the feature race as we enter lap 16 out of 16. The championship on the line. Joseph getting out of Surfy, and Ross lost it right there out of the final corner as we enter the last lap. Is it Pluto for the championship? Is it Chungus?
Yeah, I think at the moment...
Rossi extends.
Yeah, I think at the moment, like Rossi and Ando and Rowdy's tires will probably be on near 70 plus %.
You can just see it there through turn 3 and 4. He lost time right there to Pluto, and he's luckily somehow still in DRS. However, that fastest lap point is taken away from Joseph. That's crucial that Joseph took that away, because if Pluto loses this race right now and Chungus does not retake that fastest lap point, that means that Pluto would win the championship.
Yeah, Rossi,
we're on 84, or sorry, I was gonna say if Pluto gets overtaken right here, we'd be on 84 to 83, but right now we're on 91 to 83. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rossi's tires don't look very good at the front on his onboard, and either Lando or Rowdy's.
It's gonna be it, possibly, unless Pluto makes a mistake right here.
Yeah, the only way I can do the win is if he makes a mistake.
Well, that could definitely happen. We've seen a lot of mistakes be made from a lot of drivers. Speaking of one, Ross goes wide, and that could be it. A season that is allowed 6 different winners in 8 races is going to come down to the final race for the championship. It's going to come down to the final moments of this race in order to crown a champion, winner of Season 1 championship, winner of the Season 3 championship, and now winner of the F2 championship. Pluto does it, and Dams will cross the line. If they can have Chungus come home 5th, they will be Constructors champions. Lando comes home 3rd for another podium. Rowdy just short once again, and Chungus crosses the line. It's not the Drivers' Championship, but it's the Constructors for Dams. Wow.
Yeah, it's a very exciting race.
And that is it to cap off F2. Pluto, your champion. On the last lap, Ross just losing as much as he did. That maybe sealed the deal. Pluto came into this weekend 7 points behind Chungus. He now leaves this weekend and leaves this year just a little over 7 points ahead of Chungus. So that is how quick things changed here in this one. Pluto becomes the 2nd repeat winner of F2.
Yeah, what a season this has been.
6 different winners in 8 races, I know. If that many winners won a fixed championship with fixed setups, and that's why I said a fixed championship. I don't mean it was fixed itself, but I mean I'm saying fixed setups. Then I'm curious as to what happens in the realistic league this upcoming season. Tune in to after the stream, 3:30. You'll see that announcement coming in the Discord that was scheduled for today. How about this? What a weekend! Seriously, what a weekend. Dams taking as many points as they could. The game also gave Jab the fastest lap in the end, but the fastest lap went to Joseph. How about that for the results of the weekend? 33 points from Pluto. Chungus only 18.
Yeah, if Chungus had done the same strategy as Pluto, he probably could have won the championship.
That strategy he's definitely got to be thinking of. There you go. There's what I did for that championship. Let's invite the podium finishers and maybe get a word with Joseph or Jab, who came up short. We'll get the podium finishers first. No, we did not want to kick player. Lando, back on the podium for the first time since round 2. You know, I know it's an unofficial series. We're going to mention, hey, first time since then. First time for Surfy, first time for Chungus. But it really is their first time in the league. However, like we mentioned, it's still an unofficial series, and it's still nice to see them rather come back to the podium, come back to a win, or whatever it may be from these drivers. Incredible. And you know what? Why not get maybe Surfy in here too? He won the sprint race. Why not talk to him? And we'll get Ross in here as well to cap things off. Whoa, what a battle. What a race. What an F2 season it was. Let's get him in here. Welcome along, guys. Let's check if let's get Surfy and Ross. Let me ask them for an interview first. Yeah, be ABS users should be embarrassed, Joseph says. It's always fun. All right, both them say sure. Let me just find their accounts so I can invite them to the party. I know that's what I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out how they join, and we'll get them in here. Xbox Game Bar. Let me get Rossi in here. Make sure they can add. Well, let's start off with a third place finisher while I try to get them in here. Lando, welcome back to the podium. You know, hey, it may be in a knockoff series, it may be in a unofficial series. It's not in the realistic league yet, but I'm definitely sure it gives you tons of confidence for the realistic series. And you know, the strategy played just your way too under the safety car. Tell us about the podium you got.
Definitely had to fucking earn it for once in my life. Nah, I timed the strategy wrong actually. I was gonna pit the first lap it came out, but I was already past the pit road, so it was like the Hamilton Verstappen incident again. But no, I pitted a lap before the safety car was to go in, just to see what would happen. I knew either way I was gonna get points, so might as well just send it right on a set of supers. And I had to make it through the carnage, but just had to pass Rowdy because I knew the soft runners were gonna have to box because they messed up their chance. And after that, it was just limit the gap and just drive. Really, I'm just so happy. I finally, after getting literally bent over in every race known to mankind, and by some reason, it's finally good, to go out there and make some overtakes. And let me tell you, me and Ross, yeah, that guy, best guy ever to battle with. Absolutely incredible. I don't know if you saw it on stream, but I think it was in the sprint race. That third sector was awesome. Me and him battling. Beautiful.
Yeah, most definitely. I was gonna ask. I know it's, as mentioned before, not necessarily the realistic league we got the podium. We go all the way back to the realistic league, round 2, all the way back at the end of January. We're at the end of December here, 11 months later, and you're on the podium, Lando. I mean, thinking back to that race in round 2, a lot happened in that USA race to where a lot of people said F1 driver didn't deserve the win. You should have got the win. And it was a chaotic race in that one in round 2 at the very beginning of the league. And, people were thinking you were maybe robbed of that victory from the shenanigans on the lap 11 safety car restart. Does this kind of make up for it, at least to kind of get back to where you want to be?
Yeah, going back to that race, I don't feel like I was robbed. I think I did everything right. I passed him under safety car, but he slowed down. But either way, he slowed down, but I went fast. I mean, I guess you could say I was robbed, but I don't think that, in my opinion. It was still a good result for me. And 11 months later, after, again, this is a secondary series, just a little fun, but I think after everything I've been through with just like, being so down on confidence because, just getting crashed left, right, and center, I think ever since this track, Abu Dhabi, has, I think, revived me in a way, and where I can fight now for podiums in any series now, I think. I think I finally have the balls and the consistency to go out there and do what I do best and race cleanly, not cut corners, and just give myself 110% every week.
Yeah, I was also going to say shout out to Rowdy as well, 4th place for him, and that one, a good comeback after him lagging out. He was able to battle with you there. And my last question to you before we go on to anyone else, Lando, is season 4 of this realistic league with everything. I know you're mentioning to me. I don't know if I'll be in a slower car. I don't know if we'll be in a faster car. You're expecting maybe to be in a different car than the McLaren, but does this sort your confidence back to where it was once before?
Does it restore my confidence fully? Fuck yeah, I'm ready. Bring it on. Season 4. Let's do this. In terms of the car, I hope I'm in a papaya car. I mean, I hope so, but at the same time, if I'm faster than what I think I am, then I have to work with that car, right? I'm excited for this.
Good to hear. Congratulations. Aaron, any questions for Lando?
No, I have no questions.
All right, Aaron, take on Rossi, 2nd place finisher there in the future.
Yeah, well, congrats on 2nd place in the race. What was your best moment of the race, do you reckon?
I think it was it probably was the decision to come into the pits under the safety car, which I thought the whole grid was going to. But I think on the lap I came in, there was only like 3 of us. So that obviously pushed up to like a net P2. But also, I think it was my start, which got obviously starting like 13th. I was up to about 9th or something around that by the end of the first lap. So that obviously helped the rest of my race. But yeah, them 2 are probably the main things.
Any other questions for Ross, Aaron?
No, that's everything.
Well, I have to mention, 2nd place. I think the tires looked like they were wearing off at the end. Did you feel the same way? And did you feel it was fading from you in the last lap as a whole to get the win?
Yeah, definitely. There was a few moments where I was kind of close to Pluto, but not close enough to make a reasonable move. But by the end of the race, I think my tires were like mid 70%. So that's why I was kind of all over the place. But I was trying everything I could to get past him, but it just weren't to be.
Yeah, and the big thing as well is if you had got past him and Chungus kept the fastest lap, the championship would have been tied, and that would have gone to Chungus off wins. Right before the last lap, Joseph took that fastest lap right there. The championship, if you were to pass him, would have been 80-43 to Pluto. But speaking of championships, you helped Dams out win the Constructors' Championship. How do you feel about that one?
Well, Chungus' championship was nothing to me. Dan's was the one that I could actually like contribute to. So I won the championship, and I'm happy with that.
Congrats with that as well, and congrats on the podium. I was also going to ask one more thing. Season 4, do we expect to have you around a bit, and do you expect to race?
I hope so. Whether that be full time or reserve, I'll have to see closer to the time. But I definitely do want to get back out there and show what I can do since the ARL times where I think
He lagged down. That was a good conversation. All right, well let's get him back in here. That was funny. That worked out. Well, we'll let him know he left off on the ARL times before he starts going on about anything else. Once he gets back in here, we'll finish up with him. We'll talk with Surfy, and then we'll go to our champion Pluto for those of you wanting to hear from the champion of the season. Ross, you were talking about Days of ARL. Yes, you did. Days of ARL. What were you saying? Back to Days of ARL. Hey man, I hope to see you there, and congrats most definitely on the podium. You had some great battling from what Lando was saying, so good job on that. All right, enjoy. Next is our sprint race winner, Surfy. Surfy, I always talked about it earlier this week about you. I mentioned if you don't have bad luck go your way, if you're put in the right position, you're able to get really good results. And that was shown by the end of season 3. And that was able to be shown by the races in Belgium, where I believe you took a podium. And even today, you were helping Carlin's chance of taking the Constructors' Championship. You kept them in it for the feature race. You guys came up short a bit, but how do you feel about a first win with the sprint race victory?
Yeah, it feels pretty good to, I guess, show what I'm capable of, I guess, but like I was quite struggling, I can't lie.
Yeah, most definitely. And the thing I was going to mention is, I noticed that in the last couple laps of the sprint race, you held off Pluto. I mean, the last couple of races throughout the F2 season, the Belgium sprint race, the Belgium feature race, and even these ones with Abu Dhabi sprint, Abu Dhabi feature, did you feel more comfortable with the car? I mean, it looked like you were, but I mean, you're the driver, so you would probably know more than I do with how comfortable you felt.
Yeah, I felt a bit more comfortable, but like not like 100%. I can't stop looking up like into most corners, which is something I need to work on. But yeah, I felt a bit competitive today, and in Belgium as well. So yeah, I hope I can like carry that on to the next season.
Speaking of the next season, what confidence does it give it for you? What confidence does that give for you into next season? We were speaking about confidence with Lando, but is your confidence back now that you've got a victory in the F2 series?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I took a break from this game for like basically from like competitive racing, but yeah, I just needed to get back in it, and yeah.
And my last question to you, Haas, Aston Martin, where are you expecting to be next year?
I'd prefer Haas, but like I wouldn't mind Aston Martin again.
All right, we'll see. See what happens there. Congratulations on that. Aaron, any questions?
I have no questions.
All right. Now on to our champion of F2. It is Pluto. You showed in Season 1 it only took one race victory to get a championship. You showed once more into this race, but now taking a second victory. How much did you have to work off for that second victory? And did you know that if you were passed by Ross and Chungus kept the fastest lap, that championship would have not been yours?
No, I didn't. I had no idea, to be honest, so I just drove. Yeah, I went on the super softs at the start just for the off chance that there was an early safety car, because you've always got to bid for that, haven't you? Because it don't really matter if it's a late safety car, because the tyres are kind of similar anyway. So yeah, I covered that chance. And was I the only one to start on supers?
Yes, you were.
Yeah, I cannot believe that. That's ridiculous. Can't believe no one
I
else
thought the
thought of
same
it.
thing.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing. You'd have to see my reaction at the start. I was
ridiculous.
surprised no one else did. Not even anyone outside of the
Yeah,
championship either.
ridiculous.
So that was definitely something to think about. And you definitely have to think your strategy for the way you handled today. I know you purposely started on the super softs, but were you thinking in that moment that, hey, I have to try something different, even with the way the sprint race went? Because as I saw in my paper, you were I believe 7 points back. You were second, but you were still 7 points back, just as you were into the weekend. When it came down to how much you were behind Chungus, did you think in that moment when you went to those tires, I have to try something different in order to win this championship?
No, I was never really thinking about the championship, and like I said, I don't think it was going to be so rare for someone to start on supers. I thought it'd be at least like a 50-50 split. I just thought, you know what, I'll get them out of the way first because I didn't think they'd be that good, and they weren't. They were terrible.
I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
I really do. As for the F2 season, a couple of podiums here and there, and everyone was really close. You got 2 wins. You tied Chungus for the most. How would you describe the season, that saw many battles, many good racing, many different winners, 3 different pole sitters, quite a bit of different podium sitters as we head into season 4?
To be honest, it was just for a bit of fun. I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. Because this race was all about the battling, wasn't it? It wasn't about who won and who wins the
Exactly,
championship. It's not a real championship,
Nice
so
to see, though.
there's
Yeah,
not
it's
going to be
nice to
like
see, though.
a tag for it, like season 1 F2 champion. That's not going to happen. But yeah, it was just a bit of fun while we wait for the next season.
And I know you're gonna bust on Chungus for it, but 7 points you were behind him into this weekend, and you exited this weekend more than 7 points ahead of him. I mean, I know you said you didn't think about the championship, but out of everyone outside of yourself, who did you think had the best chance with Chungus bottling it by that much of a gap?
Anyone but Chungus. I knew he'd bottle it. He's so bad. No bottle. He's fast and all, but yeah, he don't know what he's doing when it comes to actually weighing up options. He was involved in so many crashes, wasn't he? He's just gonna stay out of it. That's what I did at the end of this race. I knew I was the only one going to the end from the front. I didn't actually think the super softs would make it that far, to be honest. So you might have seen me just sitting behind the front 3 when they were fighting. I wanted them to get a move on because I thought Ross was going to end up passing me.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I just sat behind him, waited for them all to pit. And Milo stayed out for ages, and I had to overtake him at that point.
Yeah. He was banking on a safety car, me and Aaron were thinking. So yeah, I mean, just like you have to try something different. I know you didn't mean to, but you did try something different and it worked out. So congratulations on that. One last question though. Season 4, you come into the season as a reigning champion. You could say it for F2 as well, but thinking about everything with the season 1 championship, the season 3, and now the F2 knockoff series, season 4, what are we expecting from you?
Not really fussed about what people are expecting, to be honest. I'm just going to race for fun. I think my days of sweating out for championships is over. I'm not that fussed anymore. I just want to have fun.
It's good to hear. Congratulations on the championship.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the race victory. Aaron, any questions?
My question was literally what Ryan said about like what you expect for next season.
Yeah.
Well,
I've answered it. Yeah.
Great
But
mind. Thanks.
yeah, congrats
Great,
on the
minds think alike.
championship.
Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's it for the F2 series. And that's it for 2022 for URS. Hope everybody has a good Christmas break and a good New Year. A lot of things are going to happen in the next couple of days as we receive news for season 4 and everything else. Next season, preseason, January 8th, January 15th, the season opener. We'll continue to leak a bit of more news and announce a couple of things too. Catch us later on for that as well. All right. We'll catch you next time. That is it from me, and we'll see you in 2023. Goodbye.